Welcome, everyone. I'd like to take the next few minutes to describe what we're doing at Murchison Minerals. The company is involved in the exploration for basically nickel, copper, cobalt, zinc, silver, and we have essentially three projects, one based in Saskatchewan. We own a deposit called the Brabant-McKenzie deposit. So we have this base metal project in Saskatchewan. We have the Hpm nickel, copper, cobalt project in Quebec. And we have a third project in Quebec where we can earn 100% interest in a property that is located literally within 2 kilometers from a very large zinc silver deposit. So let's go through. Currently, our stock price is at 8 cents. We have 109 million shares outstanding. So the market capitalization is relatively low at about $7 million US. And again, 3 projects, one in the center of Canada, Saskatchewan, and 2 in Quebec, 2 provinces that are very mining friendly. So let's start with the Quebec project, the Hpm project. As you can see on the left-hand side, this is some of the local infrastructure of the Hpm project. It's you see the road on the picture on the left-hand side is actually a railroad. It goes by our project area within 8 kilometers. And where this picture has been taken from, it's basically right over a 35 megawatt hydro dam that can produce some environmentally friendly electrical power. So looking at the location of the Hpm project, it's in just east of the Manicouagan crater. Some of you may be familiar. This is a site of a meteor impact from roughly 215 million years ago. It's the project itself is located about 225 kilometers north of Port Cartier. That's a seagoing port. Very good infrastructure, good road network, and if you look at some of the historical drilling that had been done at the Hpm project, but namely on a place called Iron Bar, or Bar de Fer in French, you take the core, which is a very high grade nickel, copper, cobalt, and it's very comparable visually and grade-wise to some of the material that is being mined in Sudbury and Voisey's Bay, 2 very famous sulfide type nickel deposits. So there's been a little bit of exploration done on this project area on and off over the years, namely back in around 2000, and the next drilling was around 2008, and literally very little exploration has occurred in between these periods. We undertook some prospecting last September, a year ago, and ran 2 surveys, one a magnetic survey airborne, and the other one what we call a VTEM survey, looking for conductors. There are at least 50 different conductors that have been identified with these surveys, but there are some known mineral showings. There's a dozen described on this slide. So the slide 10 here, it shows the center of the map here shows Bar de Fer, where most of the historical drilling has taken place. It's about 26 different drill holes, and the deepest hole is 280 meters or so. So there's a proof that the mineralization continues at depth. As you can see, all the colored areas are electromagnetic conductors. That means there's some metal in the ground over a very, very large area. Now, the project on the left-hand side, called PYC, extends for nearly 2 kilometers. We've sampled this in June of this year. I confirmed that this is a continuous sulfide deposit type body, and it's up to 59 meters wide on surface. So we are planning a 3,500 meter drilling program to start in about 3 weeks. We're planning to drill 18 holes, so for a total of 3,500 meters. So we're all very excited about the prospects. As you can see, there are all kinds of other areas that are worthy of drilling, and we believe that the potential to identify actually several, if not numerous, nickel, copper, cobalt bearing deposits is quite fantastic. Now, slide 11. As you can see, this is a map that identifies or outlines a very large electromagnetic conductor. It shows the sampling that we've done on this body. It's very continuous. Some of the better grades are at the north end, but by and large, it's totally continuous deposit that has seen only two very short drill holes historically, one in 2000, one in 2008. So we plan to systematically drill this body in the coming weeks, and we'll also look at putting one or two holes on the dicks showing to the south here. As you can see, the picture on the left-hand side shows some of the core that we've drilled in June using a backpack drill. So it's a small drill that can go down only a couple of meters, but it gives us some very fresh samples, and we're using that to do detailed mapping with fresh rocks. The area that had been drilled historically with in quite a bit of details was the Barraute area where all these holes are located. I converted these assays into a copper equivalent just to make it simpler to try to put a value on this, and this translates into very nice copper equivalent grades from basically 1.4% up to 7% copper equivalent. So it's very interesting, and it appears to be potentially amenable to open pit mining. As you can see on the right hand side, we did a conceptual mine plan and for open pitting. We've also done 3D modelization of the mineralization, and the mineralization certainly appears to be continuous, hangs together, and again, it's probably amenable to open pit mining. This mineralized zone remains totally open for further exploration and expansion. Just to the northeast of the Barraute is another very good conductor. There was one historical drill hole, but it was a drill at the wrong angle relative to the conductor. As you can see, we plan on doing at least one hole on this in the coming weeks. There's very good grades on the periphery of the signature of this conductor, which appears to be quite wide and quite continuous. Now, this is a very important slide, 15. This slide shows all of the conductors that show up on what we call channel 45 on the airborne survey. And channel 45 it shows the strongest EM conductor strength that's measurable. And basically, if you see any EM conductors at channel 45, it basically says, hey, there's metal there. So we plan on systematically sample all of these showings. And of course, we have expanded the land position substantially over the last year, and we need to fly the rest of the area. So we will probably find additional conductors worthy of exploration. Very good correlation with the magnetic or very strong magnetic features, and also very interesting structural component here. Basically, you see the magnetic signature doing basically a big fold, and these are great structures to capture mineralization that's been remobilized in the past. So the slide 16 shows all of the conductors identified in this airborne survey that we did in April of this year. There's basically close to 50 different conductors. So you can see there's a lot of potential for exploration. So slide 17 just shows basically a summary. We own 100% of this project. We have some high grades. We have some very, very extensive anomalies. And in fact, we have quite a few extensive anomalies. So the next step is to do metallurgical work on the work, on the sulfide mineralization, and do this drilling, which will start shortly. Moving on quickly to the Brabant-McKenzie deposit, Saskatchewan. As you can see, the ore is very, very coarse, coarse-grained. Some of the mineralization is extremely high grade, like 24.5% zinc and 0.8% copper and 83 grams silver. The location of the project is basically 1 kilometer just east of the main highway that goes to all of the uranium mines in northern Saskatchewan. It's a 2-hour drive to La Ronge. The main power line across the province goes right through our property holdings. The deposit is located essentially within 3 kilometers of the village of Brabant Lake, where we own 2 houses. It's a First Nation community. Very, very good infrastructure, good relationship with the community. So the total resource on this deposit is 9.7 million tons if you combine the inferred and indicated resources. It's made up of essentially 2 parallel zones, upper and lower zone. The thicknesses of each zone goes from as much as 16 to 18 meters. Basically combined, it averages about 12 meters thick of massive sulfides. You can see the distribution of the mineralization between high grade and low grade, and it's obvious that the high grades is basically concentrated where there's the most drilling. We plan on doing some additional drilling to expand these high grade zones and also add to tons and overall improve the overall grade of the deposit. It comes right to surface. It extends for about 1,000 meters on strike at surface. It's a project that could easily be developed with a ramp, and the breakdown of the mineralization is shown here at the bottom right-hand side of the slide, between the lower zone, the upper zone, indicated, and inferred resources. Now, if you were to apply the current commodity prices to these values, you end up with a in-ground, in-situ metal content that approaches about 2.9 billion Canadian dollars, which is quite significant. Now, you put that in perspective with our market capitalization of $7 million US. It's as you can see, the stock is very, very, very cheap. We also have on our property quite a few showings of graphite. It's not something that we're actively looking for, but we do find that material on our property, and there's potential for identifying perhaps some economic deposits, but that's not what we're currently working on. So on the right-hand side, you can see a conceptual design of an underground mine using a ramp, and it could basically, as soon as you start digging into the ground, you're basically into ore, and so it's an easy project to be developed. The third project, which is back in Quebec, it's called the Quebec Barraute Landrian Base Metal Project. It's more of a grassroots project. It's located about 60 kilometers north of Val d'Or. We can earn 100% interest in several claim blocks totaling about 75 claims. We have some very nice ground EM anomalies, conductors that are located within 2 kilometers of the Abcourt Barview deposit, which between what's been mined in the past, 5 million tons, and what's left, about 12 million tons, it's a 17 million ton deposit, and we're within 2 kilometers of that, with that deposit, and the same rocks, same chemistry, same features, and so it's a very exciting early stage, but it has a lot of blue sky. So to summarize, we have 3 projects, 1 in Saskatchewan, 2 in Quebec. 1 is nickel, copper, cobalt, called the Hpm Project. It's very exciting. It will be drilled very soon, and the Barraute Landrian project will likely be drilled this next year into probably March, April, as we go. So that's the story in a nutshell.
Thank you, JC. There are a few questions here from the audience. The first one from Aaron. Who are the key technical persons in your team to look at these projects and plan the drilling program?
Well, I'm a geologist by background. I've been around for a long time, as you can see. we have 3 full-time geologists, very bright young guys that have about 10 years experience each. We have another geologist that is joining us soon, who has a lot of experience in doing feasibility studies and that type of work. And as well, we do retain very, consulting geologist engineers to do some of this work. We also rely on the SRC lab facilities in Saskatoon and Saskatchewan, where they do all this metallurgical work. And in fact, we have done metallurgical work at the SRC recently. The results are very, very favorable. We expect to get well above 90% recovery on the zinc from the Brabant-McKenzie deposit. So it's a very exciting situation.
Sure. The next question from Sahib here is asking, what's the potential for this Hpm project? What sort of potential it has?
Yeah, that's a good question. The potential is quite significant. For instance, we're dealing with sulfides. So sulfides tend to be semi-massive to massive sulfides. They have a very high specific density. So on the conservative side, we're looking at a specific density of 3 tons per cubic meters. Now, if you look at the PYC target, to use just one example, it extends for over 1,700 meters. It probably, based on the signature that we see using geophysical instruments, it's about 35 meters wide on average. It goes up to 59 meters. And so if you do the math and say it goes down to 100 meters, just to do the math, you can work out a substantial tonnage potential. And we know that the geophysics from the airborne survey shows conductors that extend to at least 300 meters. So legally, I really can't make a prediction, but I mean, if you multiply 1,700 by 35 meters wide by 100 meters deep or 300 meters deep, use a specific density of 3, you end up with a big number. And that's only one of potentially 50 different targets. Clearly it's the largest target that we have there, but it's very interesting. The Barraute, we've done some modeling, and we've basically identified a tonnage in the first 280 meters of in the range of 5 million to 6 million tons.
Sure. One more question here from Luke on the Chinese side. What will be the main catalyst for the company in the next 12 months?
Main catalyst essentially results from the drilling on the PYC target. It's we expect to come out with some great results from everything that we've done in the past year, and also based on what's been done in the past. We want to do some exploration on some of these other targets that we've identified, and we'll be drilling on the Barraute project in northern Quebec, and we expect to do some drilling on the Brabant-McKenzie deposit in Saskatchewan in the springtime in order to increase the tonnage, increase the grade, and advance the project to the stage where we can start doing a PEA. So lots going on.
Thank you for being here with us today.
So thank you, Gilbert, and everyone.